Good morning and welcome to this week's Tax Talk series. I'm Julie Moseley, supervisor in our CAS department here at JRBT. I have to give our disclaimer that says we are not giving any professional, legal, or tax advice during this talk. If you have any questions regarding your specific situation, please reach out to your HR consultant or your tax advisor for further instructions. This Tax Talk series is going to focus on our tax season that's currently underway for 2020 and maybe some tips and tricks on how to get going in 2021. I'm here with my coworkers.
I'm Hannah Hensley, the payroll supervisor for payroll systems.
My name is Garrett Kelly. I'm a supervising senior in the tax department. And I guess I'll just jump right into a few points. Tax season is definitely underway. E-filing is open. We are really getting a lot of information in from clients. And something to reiterate that happened very recently, and we've touched on this in a prior tax talk, is the Texas federal deadline moved from 4/15 to 6/15 because of Snowbit. Obviously, a lot of folks had problems.
Yep, snowpocalypse.
Snowmageddon. So it's, a lot of people had issues with that. They were real. And so the deadline for Texans changed. So if you've got a business based in Texas or you're a Texan yourself, you're going to have a 6/15 deadline. Other folks that are outside of Texas, just get with your CPA, see if maybe you have a Texas-based entity and you may be affected by that deadline. So just get with your CPA on that. So let's jump into, there's a lot of 2021 contributions you can make to accounts that are deductions for 2020. Some of those being your HSA, your SEP accounts, your SEP contributions you can make, your IRAs. And so those are things that, for example, if you're a Texas-based company, you can make those contributions all the way up to June 15th. So that's a pretty good deal, pretty good tax planning tool.
Well, so Garrett, here's a question that I might get is, what if, say, my mom who lives in Oklahoma and she wants to take advantage of maxing out her 2020 contributions? Can she do that now?
She can, but she's not a Texas-based resident, and so I'm assuming she's filing as an Oklahoma resident, and she'll have till 4/15, the typical federal deadline.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yep. And then, so let's jump into, we're a firm that will do first in, first out. And so we're not going to get someone's information in now and work on that and care for that information, but not work on somebody's that got their stuff in beginning of February or January. That's not fair. And so once you get your information in and you send it in to us, you're going to get put kind of, I guess, you'll be a few weeks out before we get to you, because we're gonna do first in, first out.
On the assembly line.
It's on the assembly line and information's in the door. But please, if you have 70 or 80% of your information gathered together, just get it to us. Don't piecemeal it together over the course of a couple months and send 10 emails. It gets really confusing. Get the bulk of it together and get it over to us. And that is super helpful, but don't wait till you have 100% of the information and send it on the deadline, because that would be, also just as bad.
So if they're just missing one 1099 or one W-2, let's just go ahead, send the information in, and then once you get that last piece, then you can pretty much already have everything ready to go, just missing that one item.
Exactly. Good. Right. Yep. And when it happens a lot, we'll get a 1099 from a brokerage house, and then a corrected one gets kicked out a month or two later. And it happens a lot, but that's okay. We'd rather get everything in 70-80% complete and then wait for that final corrected 1099. And we like to do that. And so, something kind of I was thinking about was QBO access. And when we're getting information, if you don't have QBO access yet, for your CPA to access, it is super helpful when we're pulling information to be able to access QBO as the accountant and not have to ask you to give us reports or ask you to log in and get information. And so I think you had a few QBO topics.
Yeah, definitely, Garrett. So QBO has a lot of options, and even if you do not utilize JRBT in our CAS department, to do your monthly accounting services with us, you can still connect us as an accountant on your QBO platform. And what that does is it gives our tax department access to your QuickBooks. And so instead of you having to print the reports yourselves and email them, which we don't feel is very secure, your tax professional can actually just go right into your QBO and pull the reports that they need. And you know, you don't have to do anything besides make sure all of your information is complete in the QBO file. Another thing we want to talk about with QBO is they now have this new option that will help you keep track of your W-9s for your contractors. It sends an email, gives you an option to add an email for your contractor. It will send an email to them, and they have the option to create an account and securely submit their information into your QBO platform. So that way you're not juggling, trying to get a W-9 from them or making sure you store it all in the right file folder when you try to find it, you know, January of next year when we're ready for 1099s and we're bugging you, asking you, you know, where's this information? It actually gets stored directly in your QBO file. So
Super nice.
It's a really nice, neat tool. If you're not using QBO, that's okay. We still strongly urge you to make sure you get a W-9 from your vendors and or contractors prior to paying them. It's a lot easier to get them to fill it out before you give them a check. There are those that are hesitant to fill those out. They may not want to receive a 1099, but according to the IRS, that's your job as a business owner to make sure that you send them that information.
Right. And I mean, I guess from a tax perspective, you're not hurting them from issuing them a 1099. They need to be reporting that income that they generated, whether they get a 1099 or not. So by you sending them a 1099, you're not hurting them. And so you shouldn't feel bad that you're issuing somebody a 1099. It's your job, and you can get in trouble, and you can you know, face penalties if you file late 1099s or if you don't file them at all. And so, you know, a lot of times clients get all nervous and scared whenever we're talking 1099s. Wrap your mind around it now for 2021, and you know, don't let it get you in the end, and just take care of it now.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that, Garrett. And then there's one other item that we tend to see with some of our clients starting to panic at the end of the year. You know, 2020 was a hard year. We all know that. And so a lot of people may have gotten behind on keeping up with their books or sending in their bank statements, doing their bank reconciliations. And so try to, you know, go forward in 2021, try to make a goal that, you know, you'll sit down for a half a day once a month or a whole day once a month and keep up with your books, you know, on a monthly basis as best as you can. It's way easier for you to remember what you bought last week for your business than if we're looking back a year from now, trying to find receipts or trying to remember what you did back then. If you try to do that starting at the beginning of the year, it's going to pay, you know, bigger dividends for you in the long run. You're not going to feel so stressed or so frustrated at the end of the year that you've got 12 months now to compile for your tax preparer versus just getting December done in January and you know, just doing it throughout the year is a lot more efficient for you and your business. And it'll save you a lot of time and a lot of headaches.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, you're going to save money just with compliance costs. I mean, you're going to avoid those 15 emails from Julie saying, hey, I need this, I need that. What is this? What is this transaction? And you're spinning your wheels and you're back and forth. That compliance cost can definitely add up.
Absolutely.
So, and then how about bank recs? I mean, don't be scared of bank recs. Julie has taught many people how to do bank reconciliations. It's not something that's too scary to learn.
Yes. And
it's definitely something that if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to take the time to do it, our client accounting service department can definitely help with that.
Absolutely, we definitely can. So Hannah, I know you had a few things to go over with our 2020s.
I do, because everyone's favorite thing is payroll. If you're running a business, a lot of my clients say, want to run my business. I didn't do this to run payroll, so it's not their favorite thing. The biggest reminder for you this time of year for tax season is get your W-3s for 2020 over to your tax preparer. they need that information to prepare your tax return.
Definitely.
If you're a payroll systems client and also a JRBT client, we can provide those to your tax preparer for you. We have
Right,
access.
we'll be
across
aware of that,
departments,
right.
so we know. So get those to your tax preparer as soon as you can so that they can start working on their stuff. The other thing I have is everyone's favorite form is the W-4. So it's as crucial as getting that W-9, like Julie talked about. You have to have a W-4 for your employees. You don't pay them until you have that W-4 filled out. You have to make sure you're using the new current form. So they did a big revamp in 2020. They totally changed the form on everybody,
Yes.
threw us for a loop. 2021 is the same. You just need to make sure you're using the current version of the form. They change that year in the corner every year. So if you have a new hire in 2021 and they have their signature and date on a form with 2020, it's considered invalid. It doesn't work for IRS. So if you were to have an audit, that would be an issue as far as your record keeping goes. So make sure you're using the current form. If you had any employees that were marked as exempt from federal withholding on their 2020 W-4, they should have provided you a new one by February 15th. If they did not, you are required to change their withholding status to single and or married filing separate with 0 dependents. That's just IRS guidelines.
Right.
Yeah.
And, just kind of tagging on to that, withholding into the tax season and, we look at it and maybe you owed a little bit that year. A lot of times, I know it's an unpleasant conversation, but it may just be a really simple fix on withholding at your job. And so that's when the new W-4 comes in and,
Yes.
we can, we reach out to us, we can help you fill that out and navigate that form.
Right.
If you're having trouble.
You get a lot of questions this time of year. Employees get their W-2s in their hands finally, and they're, wait a second, you didn't withhold any federal income tax, or you didn't withhold enough, or you withheld too much, I want a refund.
Right.
Okay, they need to fill out a new form. You cannot advise them. As an employer, you can't tell them how to fill out their form. Their tax preparer, Garrett over here, can tell them how to fill it out. So they need to call their tax professional. They can use IRS has some great tools online, very user-friendly to calculate their withholding estimation for the year, and that will tell them exactly how to fill out the form.
Right. Don't turn a blind eye and say, I hope, I wish, I think my withholding is good. Get it figured out now.
Check it out. And you can check your current one. You can check it and put in all your income and realize you don't have to make a change, and that's perfectly fine. So just make sure it's maintenance. Just maintain that every year. So 2020 was challenging. We had a lot of changes. We had a lot of legislation changes, some amended forms that they did for us over in payroll. So
lots of credits.
As a business owner, if that was challenging, too much to keep up with, please reach out to us over here at Payroll Systems, because outsourcing your payroll may be the best fit for your business, and let us take on those headaches for you.
Yes, definitely.
And so let me just jump in real quick. There's some great tax tools we have for our clients. And if you're thinking, I don't have a tax preparer, I'm somebody that typically prepares it myself and I spend a lot of time doing it. Well, if you're looking for someone to prepare your return, we've got great tools for you and our current clients to use to streamline the tax prep process and saving some compliance costs and make sure we're crossing T's, dotting I's. And so my 1040 data, there was an email to all of our clients. It's a digital form of the organizer where you can fill in all of your information from the past year. Super helpful for us in tax season. Also, if you're like, hey, I'm old school, I want a paper organizer to fill out, that's okay. We can send that to you as well. Just let us know. Make sure you're reading our tax newsletter. That thing is jam-packed with really good stuff, current, up-to-date information. We've got tax portals. It's a safe, secure way to upload and download documents. I can put something on the portal and you can access it the same day and pull that information. You can avoid email or unsafe transactions of information. We're all capable of using Zoom. Obviously, being on a Zoom call, this is something we all are using frequently now. It's a new normal.
It's a new normal, yes.
So SafeSend is a really cool software. It's a delivery software of our tax returns to current clients, and so that's good for business returns and individual returns. Something, a cool little tool on an iPhone is the scan feature in Notes, and that'll actually recognize text. And so if you're saying, I have to send this document really quick to my CPA, and I'm not really sure, pull out that iPhone, do a quick scan of it in your notes, and email it or send it over to us.
And it does work. It works very
Yeah.
well. We get a lot of items to us
I've
that
used
way.
it myself.
We
It's
receive
great.
a lot of payroll information.
Yes.
With the scan feature, so.
Definitely.
So, and that's kind of all I had. I just want, on my end, I just wanted to touch on some tax tools, a little bit, touch on some deadlines, gathering information, the rule of thumb of when you've got 70–80% of your stuff, send it into us. And that's kind of all I had.
That pretty much covers it all for us. If you have questions or you need any help with your payroll, please call us. We're here. We love to help. We've got a full service payroll bureau here at JRBT. And we can help with anything you've got that's payroll related.
And that the same thing goes for our CAS department. If you're looking back at 2020 and you see your books and they're just way too much for you to try to clean up and get everything ready to go for your tax preparer, please reach out to us. We do just 1-year cleanups if that's something you're looking for, or if you need an ongoing service, we're here for that as well. Please just reach out.
Yep. We're a full service firm, and so we're happy to help. And I guess that kind of wraps up our Tax Talk series for this morning. And thanks so much for listening and tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.